Hello, good evening, everyone. You're welcome to tonight's session. Right, I don't know the name to call this uh, weekly Friday session, but I think it's the name is not as important as the value that has been added. I know maybe subsequently I would be able to put a name to this session, but before then, let's just continue, enjoying the session and learning. I think that's the most important thing. But I think it will make a lot of sense if um, we are able to, I'm able to put a name to it so that each time I'm coming live or we're having the session, we know that okay, this is what the session is all about. So you're welcome, and I'm so glad to have every one of you on this live session with me this evening. It is a weekly, if this is the first time you're joining us, it is a weekly session that holds on Fridays by 8 p.m. just for an hour. We just immerse ourselves in learning the principles that makes you to excel in life and live a fulfilled life. Talk about finances, personal development, marketing. Just different areas that would contribute to your growth and your becoming. So I'm just going to take a minute to share the link on my socials and notify my audiences that I'm live so that they can also join the live session and partake from the immense value I will be dishing out tonight. So while I do that, I'm just going to play some background music that you can vibe to. All right. I don't know if you can actually vibe to this, but let's just accept it as it is, right? So so welcome if you are just joining us. Let me know your name and where you are joining us from. If you are just joining us tonight, let me know your name. You can just drop it in the chat section, the comment section, your name and where you are joining from. Starting right away, but I think it will make sense if we can just have a little bit of introduction, isn't it? Before we begin to, learn tonight. And even as you join, please ensure that you share it with your friends so that they can also come and learn, right? This shouldn't be it's kept, right? This is not a knowledge that you just keep it to yourself. If you have friends, just share with them and encourage them to join tonight's live session, because we'll be discussing something very, very powerful and personal to me. It's one of the things that I have learned, and by learning it, it has changed my life radically, and it has brought me to where I am today, and is even taking me further. So tonight we'll be talking about the D's of destiny, the secret for a fulfilled life. And now I believe with all certainty that every one of us, we want to live a fulfilled life. We want to achieve our goals. We want to work according to what was written concerning us. We want to enjoy life to its fullness. We don't just want to manage through life, but by wishing that you're going to have a great life doesn't give you a great life. You can wish from now to tomorrow, right? But that doesn't change your life story. That doesn't change your circumstances. That doesn't change your situation. And that's why it's often said that if wishes were horses, right, beggars will ride. But because wishes are not horses, it means that beggars are walking on barefoot. And that's the same thing many of us are doing in life. So instead of us to be reigning as kings, instead of us to be exerting dominion, instead of us to be commanding authority, we are just living by life. We are struggling. Life has become a burden to us instead of something to be enjoyed. And I want you guys to understand that you were not created to struggle in life. You were not created to live by. You were not created to struggle to make ends meet. That was not the reason why God created you. And the reason you are struggling, the reason why you feel frustrated, the reason why you lack fulfillment is not because you lack potential. It is not because you lack opportunity, but because you don't know how destiny works. So many of us, we have a mental picture of the way we think life should work. We have our own calculations, we have our own projections. But have you observed that for many times, in many cases, in many scenarios, those your projections are not going as planned? You are being shocked every moment. So instead of you to cause make things happen, you are allowing life to happen to you. Why? Because you have not understood these 4 Ds of destiny. So if you are going to live a fulfilled life, if you are going to enjoy life, you will not stumble upon it accidentally. Life is not lived haphazardly. If not, you become an hazard. Clock it. You have to strategically plan. There is a pattern you must work with. There's a way you must progress. There are things that you have to do. See, one thing you must understand in life is that even though you are trying to invent things, even though you are an inventor, you are actually obeying a principle. And one thing about life is that life is governed by principles, is governed by laws. So, to the degree at which you understand the principles, the laws that govern life, and you subject yourself to understand and to obey those principles, that's the degree of success and fulfillment that you are going to command out of life. So if you see anybody succeeding, if you see anybody living your dream life, it is because they have an understanding of the certain kind of principles, and they have chosen to live by those principles. That's why they can command the kind of results that you aspire to command. It is not by luck. See, one thing I will tell you is that you can never become a true success based on luck. Now, luck can make it to happen one time, but if it is happening repeatedly, then you must understand that there is a principle that is giving birth to it. See, you don't need to pray for the sun to come down and begin to brighten up the whole space in the morning. Neither do you need to pray for the moon to come out at night. There are some principles that govern that. So whether you are angry or you are happy, the moon will come out at the right time and the sun is going to come out at the right time. And it dates back to what happened in the book of Genesis, chapter 1, whereby God made the large light and the small light. He said the big light, the large light, which is the sun, should rule by day, and the small light should rule at night. And that's the same thing when it comes to your own life. When you want to actually succeed, you must understand. See, success follows pattern. Success what? Follows pattern, and success leaves clues. If you see anybody succeed at any endeavor, there's a pattern they followed. And if you also can actually follow that pattern, I'm telling you that you can also become successful. For instance, many of us have gone through school, right? And there are syllabuses that you must cover. If you're able to cover those syllabuses and you are well prepared for the exam, you enter into the exam hall, you sit for the exam hall, maybe for your WAEC, and when you write it the right way, you put it the right way, you're going to get a good grade. And they will certify you that you have finished your secondary school education. This has been happening repeatedly for decades, if not centuries. So you don't need to invent another thing. You just need to follow that pattern. Whereas there are some people that violate that principle. They don't cover the scheme of work. They didn't write the exam well, and at the end, they failed. One thing you must understand is that although life will not necessarily sit you down in an exam hall, yet every day of your life there you are writing an exam. But the problem is that there is no invigilator in quotes, and there are no question paper and answer paper. So you are unaware that each day of your life you are actually answering some questions. That each day of your life you are actually sitting for an exam. So many of us will go through life unprepared, will face the examinations of life and will fail woefully at it. And at the end, we'll begin to blame life, we'll begin to blame our circumstances, we'll begin to blame our background that will fail the exams of life. Why? Because our result is now making us to look like a failure. But you didn't know that you were constantly, right, sitting for exams every day. See, your life is a sum total. Your current circumstances is a sum total of how you've lived the past days of your life. So if you are proud of who you are today, it means that there are some principles that you have obeyed consistently in the previous years, in the previous days of your life, that has translated to a fulfilled life today. There are some patterns that you have followed. When you want to build a house, an architect is going to what? Draw a plan. As long as the builder follows that plan, follows that pattern, then you are going to get the end result of the vision of the house that you envisioned. But if the builder now decides on its own and say, no, I'm not going to follow this, I'm just going to build anything, there will be a discrepancy between what you are seeing on the plan and what the builder has actually reproduced. And that's the problem many of us have. You were not created haphazardly. You were not created by chance, you were not created by luck. But you are living your life as if your life has no plan. So your current circumstances is a betrayal of what the plan God had and the intention God had when he created you. So there is an emptiness within you. You are busy doing a whole lot of things, yet you are empty internally. Why? Because you are actually working in disalignment with the plan for your life. So now, to live a fulfilled life, there are 4 Ds of destiny. And the first one is discovery. The second one is development. The third one is distribution, and the fourth one is duplication. To go again, the first one is what? Discovery. The second one is distribution, and the fourth one is duplication. If you miss any of these things, your destiny becomes incomplete. So tonight, my goal tonight is that I'm going to move you from confusion to clarity, from potential to impact, and from impact to legacy, such that you will know what you are, who you are, what you have, where you have been sent to, and how to actually maximize what you have and live a life that is beyond you. So let's start with the first D. Before I continue, this is an important conversation that we are having tonight, and I believe more people need to actually listen to this. So I'm going to employ us to, share it with our friends, invite them to join this live session, right? And come and learn. It is absolutely free. Thank you, Favor. The 4 Ds of destiny: discovery, distribution, development, distribution, and duplication. So let's continue. The first one, which is discovery. Before you can fulfill destiny, you must discover destiny. Can you actually succeed at what you were unaware of? That's impossible. Yet, many of us, we are running the rat race. We are trying our very best each day, waking up, struggling to get things done. Yet, we never sit down to actually discover what exactly am I doing. See, one thing you must understand is that you can work so hard, yet live a hard life. Hmm. You can try all your very best, yet be the least. If you work in misalignment with your purpose, there's no how you can live a fulfilled life. The discovery section or part of destiny answer the question: who am I? Why am I here? What problem am I wired to solve? What value do I naturally carry? Who am I? If I ask you, who are you? The first, many people, the answer they're going to give to me is, I am. They give me their name. But do you know that your name is not who you are? It is who your parents called you. And names are very powerful because name has the power of creating an image for you. In fact, names have magnetic forces of determining what you can attract and who you can become. However, the name that your parents gave to you is not a definition of who you are. Who you are is the intention God had in his mind when he created you, not the name your parents called you, not the nickname your circumstances has placed on you, not this if you read the Bible, oftentimes, especially with people that are struggling, right? Oftentimes they begin to name them based on their circumstances and their struggles. Say the woman with the issue of blood. Is that the woman's name? They say the prodigal son. Is that his name? They say the blind man, the crippled man at the beautiful gates. Is that who the person is? Doesn't the person have a name? But one thing I've just discovered is that if you refuse to actually discover who you are, people are going to define you based on their own definition. Hmm. If you refuse to give a definition, to search deep within and through your maker, to know who he has called you, people, circumstances, challenges, situation is going to place a label, a name on you, whether you like it or not. So before they name you something else that God didn't call you, before your circumstances change your destiny, can you sit down and discover who you are? Can you now move ahead to know why I am here? Because even though we are all human, we don't have the same purpose. We have different reasons. We can be passionate with about similar things, yet that's not really who we are. We must sit down to actually know, why am I here? Why did God send me on earth? Why did he form me? Why did he preserve me? See, many people skip, the truth about it is that many people skip this discovery and jump straight into activity. They copy trends, they follow pressure from society, they pursue career that look successful but feel empty. And this eventually leads to frustration. It leads to exhaustion. It leads to burnout. It leads to identity crisis. It leads to lack of fulfillment. That's the reason why people can be earning fat salary, yet they are largely unhappy. They can be CEOs, controlling people, yet cannot control their lives. See, the truth about discovery is that your destiny is always hidden in who you are. It is always hidden in your natural strengths. It is hidden in your life experiences. It is hidden in the problems that moves your heart. The things that you can do consistently without forcing yourself. Sometimes what looks like pain is your primary assignment. So when we talk about discovering who you are, discovering why you were sent here, don't think that it is a mystified concept. Don't think that it is something that you can't lay hold, that it is something that you have to spend years discovering. It is something that is burning in your heart. So for you to discover yourself and discover destiny, you have to ask yourself, what do people naturally come to me for? What are the things they compliment me for? What are the things I enjoy doing? What are the things I enjoy learning about? What are the problems I feel burdened to solve? What are the things that makes my heart sing for joy? Where do I naturally create value? These are simple but powerful questions that you must ask yourself. See, many people are not lazy. They are simply unclear about who they are and what they have been sent to do. So for you to actually discover destiny, start observing yourself. Write down your strengths. Identify recurring interest in your life. Pay attention to the things that you do that makes great impact on people. Pray, reflect, and think deeply. See, discovery is the foundation of destiny. It is the foundation. And if the foundation is not strong enough, there's no matter how beautiful the edifice that you placed on the foundation, it is going to crumble. it is going to fall down. It is not going to last long. And that's why many of us, we are doing so much, yet all our life is scattered. Why? Because we have missed out on the foundation of destiny, which is discovery. But you must now understand that discovery is not enough. It is the foundation, but you don't stop at the foundation. You must progress and enter into the second stage, which is development. And when we talk about development prepares you to do what you have been destined and called to do. And this is where many people fail at. They discover their potential, they discover their abilities, they discover their giftings, but they never pay the sacrifice to invest in growth, to transform the pure, unrefined version of themselves, of their giftings, of their talents, of their abilities into marketable, polished, and valuable commodities that the world can stand at attention and pay value for. So your potential is cheap, but your capacity is expensive. And one thing you must understand is that destiny comes at a price. Destiny fulfillment is not cheap. But we live in a generation whereby many people want visibility without preparation. We want the accolades without doing the work. We want the reputation without the trust, without integrity. But destiny does not push unprepared people. If you are not unprepared, then you are not ready to be showcased, to be manifested. In your developmental stage, you are going to invest in learning. It involves training, it involves practice, it involves consistency, it involves character building, it involves skill acquisition, it involves mentorship, it involves traveling through the road less traveled. It involves dear sacrifices. It involves stretching yourself beyond the comfort zone. It involves doing what every other person are not ready to do. And what makes it so hard is because it is an hidden stage and an uncomfortable stage. Because at this stage, nobody is clapping for you. You are in agony, you are travailing. Yet it seems as if nobody is seeing what you're doing. You are giving it your best, yet the result is not yet showing. So it's looking as if you don't know what you are doing with your life. But I'm telling you that it is part of the journey. It is part of your making process. See, nobody just emerged. Everybody that you see on the stage was once at the backstage. Everybody that you see the spotlight on, they were once in the dark lights. But by their consistency, by their training, by their discipline, by their diligence, a time came that the light shone out of them. Now, people didn't come out from, the light was not even coming from the outside. It came from the inside out. See, when you devote yourself to the development stage, it was going to reach a point whereby you become so valuable that people begin to chase after you. They begin to look for you. And that's what you need to do now. It is not a time for you to begin to seek publicity. Your development stage is a time for you to bear roots downward so that you can bear fruits. The deeper the depth, the higher the heights. If you want to climb the topmost ladder, please build a solid foundation. Don't joke with your developmental stage. Let's give an example. Two people discovers that they have public speaking. It's one of their giftings and it is one of their callings. But one became nonchalant about it. Say, okay, it is a natural gifting. But another one, right, invested in training, all right, and became a better public speaker. Which of them do you think are going to be, applauded later on? It is the one that paid the sacrifice. See, without development, destiny becomes a frustration. Your calling may be divine, but your competence must be built. Competence is not a gift. Excellence is not a gift. It is built. Value is not gifted. It is earned. So what do you do in this stage? Invest in learning. Find mentors. It could be direct and indirect mentors. Practice your skill consistently. Accept correction and criticism. Build discipline. Development turns potential into power. But then you must understand destiny does not end at the developmental stage. I told you it is a four-stage journey. The first stage is what? Discovery. The second stage is development. Then the third stage is distribution. It is a stage whereby you now begin to showcase what you have. It is a stage whereby your name begins to be announced to the world, whereby people that need your giftings, your values, begins to look for you. See, understand this. Discovery actually reveals you. Development prepares you, but distribution releases you to the world. Let me say it again. Discovery reveals you, development prepares you, but distribution releases you to the world. It is a stage whereby your giftings, your abilities begin to serve people. See, many people remain hidden because they never take that step of releasing and distributing what they have with the world. They are very talented but silent, skilled but invisible. But you must understand that destiny grows when value is shared. Your gift is not just for you. In fact, I dare say that you were gifted those abilities not because of you, but because of people connected to you. See, one thing I've had in my consciousness is that I was not created for myself. There are people that are actually attached to my destiny. My failure will affect them. My success will affect them. My rising will lift them up, and my falling will bring them down. So I have that consciousness. Whether it is easy, I'm not, or it's not easy, I'm going to pay that sacrifice. Not just because of what I'm going to gain, but because I know that I was sent. I am a messenger. I carry a message and I must deliver it to my world. Do you have this kind of mindset too? See, type it in the comment section. I have a message and I must deliver it to my world. My generation is dependent on me. There is a value that must be added to life that can only come from me. These are the things that I understand that guides my knowledge. See, your distribution stage is about sharing knowledge, serving people, creating solutions, building influence, solving problems. These are the things that you're going to do in your distribution stage. Let me go again. It is about sharing knowledge, serving people, creating solutions, building influence, solving problems. And I must say that when we talk about your distribution stage, see, one thing many of us miss is that we are always thinking about the momentary gain. So if it is not going to pay me, then it is not worth it. Maybe because of the huge sacrifices I've made in the developmental stage. But I'm telling you that for most cases, when you enter into your distribution stage, the results, the accolades, the rewards will not come immediately. It will come when you consistently prove yourself. See, life will only applaud you when you have actually done something consistently. So don't be ashamed when you are just entering into this stage and you feel like people are not giving the attention. I thought that I've paid a lot of sacrifices, I've stayed hidden for long. So they're just going to give you the stage. So let me share you an experience. Last year was a year of sowing. And I tell you that let me just say my service year from 2024 entering into 2025 was a year to sow seed, and I sowed the seeds, right? And one of the things God told me, like, after service is your harvest season. And I was like, God, you said this is my harvest season. Why is this thing not happening fast? There are some projections that I already have. If you have worked with God, right? There's a way whereby you already know the pattern of God. That you're like, I know that this thing is going to work out for my good, right? And I believe so. So when I was doing those things, because of the promises that God had made to me, I was doing them with all joy, with the expectation that as soon as I'm done with service, I enter into my harvest season. But it didn't work out like that. But had it been, I had just fixated my mind, my eyes on the reward. I'm telling you that I would have gotten frustrated. I would have lost hope. I would have been misaligned. So please, even though it is a season whereby you begin to share, understand that people have to watch you consistently before they can trust you. So, what are the modern distribution channels that you can use? You can use your social media pages, your business, your community, teaching, writing, speaking, coaching, digital products. And when I say distribution, it does not mean that it must be free. It can be paid. As I am here, it is a free, right? I'm distributing. Through my paid mentorship, I'm distributing. Through my coaching, I'm distributing. Through my services, I'm distributing. So when we say distribution, it can be free and it can be paid. So one thing I want you to have ingrained in your mind is that demanding for visibility is not pride, it is a necessity. And that's why Jesus in the book of Matthew chapter 5, right, says, no one lights a candle and put it under the bushel, but it's put on the table for all to see. Please stop hiding. Why are you afraid? Is it because of criticism, judgment, imperfection, rejection? If I tell you that you are not going to face it, you are going to face it. I'm lying. You are going to face it. And even if you have faced it, you are still going to face more. And let me tell you the fact. The fact that you were rejected doesn't mean that you were not qualified. Hmm. They can disqualify you from working in their organization, but they cannot disqualify you from destiny. It is only you that can disqualify yourself. Destiny requires courage, it requires tenacity, it requires hunger, it requires undying passion, it requires burden, the ability to stay, say no, even though you reject me, I'm going to try again. Oh, I failed the first time, but I'm not a failure, so I'm going to go for it again. So that's it. So what do you need to do? Start sharing your knowledge, document your journey, offer solutions to people, create value online, and serve consistently. That's the word. Serve consistently. Distribution is how you touch lives. However, it does not end there. It is a four-stage journey. I told us the first stage is what? Discovery. Second stage, development. And the third stage is what? What's the third stage? Distribution. And the last stage is duplication. Duplication. Now, discovery actually reveals you. Discovery, right, actually reveals you. Development prepares you. And this distribution releases you, but duplication outlives you. Let me say it again. Discovery reveals you, development prepares you, distribution releases you, and duplication outlives you. If your impact stops the day you leave an organization or the day you die, it means that you didn't live a well and you didn't live a holistic life and you didn't fulfill destiny. See, one of the things I made, decision I made is that anywhere I serve, anywhere I join, it must be my impact, such that when I finally leave, you know that someone left. There are some people that they have died years ago, yet we are listening to their voice today. Why? Because they duplicated themselves. So when we talk about duplication, it is the highest level of destiny. It is a process of raising order. It is a process of pouring yourself into people. It is a process of transferring knowledge, wisdom, systems, and values to people. It is what makes your impact continue even when you are no longer present. See, if your success stops with you, you are a failure. Sorry, I know that word was hard, but I need you to understand it. That if your success ends with you, you are a failure, a big failure at that. If your success continues beyond you, then you are a great success. If all you do ends with you, the only thing you are just doing is accumulating influence. But even when you are no longer there, those things continues. It is means that you have actually invested in legacy. And one thing you must move beyond the momentary accolades. You must move beyond what people talk about you when you are there. You must move beyond what people do because you are there, and moving to a state whereby whether you are there or not, there are people that you have replicated to actually hold forth the banner and continue from where you stopped. Because no matter how passionate you are, no matter how gifted you are, destiny is a race. You can't actually finish the journey all by yourself. You run your own race and give the baton to another person to continue. And that's why you observe that even what we call great inventions, 10 years, 20 years down the line, it becomes outdated. Someone makes an updated version. But you have to train these people that are going to make the updated version. Please never be threatened by the fact that someone else is doing what you're doing. In fact, it should be your joy that someone is already doing something that you're already doing. One of the things I have made up my mind is that if there is any level of success I've been able to command, I must ensure that I replicate it in the life of other people. Any level of success at all. It must be replicated in the life of other people. Because I know that regardless of how hard I try, there's only so much I can do. There's only so much I can do. So I have to invest. There's only so little place I can go. Thank God for the internet space that's made the world a global village, but there's still limitation. But if you can invest in people, they will go to where you cannot go to. And this is something I learned early on in life. As far back as when I was, you know, in higher institution, I've been doing this consistently. And that's why if you have my WhatsApp status, you always see me sharing screenshots, of people reaching out to me, sharing their success story, and just telling me how I inspired them and their successes with me. It's because I always invest in people. Because it must not end with me. That's the mentality. It must not end with me. Thank God for the grace that I'm able to do it, but I must replicate it in the life of others. And that's one of the reasons why I made it a point of duty that every Friday, let me come and share with you some timeless principles that has helped me to become who I am today. So that you too can go ahead and go and do it and become such a person. As I earlier established for you at the beginning, that success follows pattern. If you follow the pattern, you're going to get the results. If you omit the pattern, there is no how you try. You're never going to get the results. So what do you do in your season or stage of duplication? You mentor others. You train people. You build teams. You create systems. You write books. You teach frameworks. You raise leaders. This is how you can multiply your greatness. Woe unto you, let me use the word of Jesus, that your success ends with you. It will be a great disgrace to you. The reason why we are actually celebrating someone like Miles Monroe, even though he has been long dead for like more than 12 years now, is because he actually wrote some books. He raised leaders. He turned leaders to transformation agents. Who can you point to and say, I have invested so much in this person? Thank God for their sacrifices. But this person wouldn't have gotten this kind of result if I had not guided the person. I do these things with so much joy. So much joy. I create time from the people I mentor. Even though I have just one official mentee, I mentor a whole lot of people. Create time for them, get on sessions with them, help to answer their questions, ask about their whereabouts, their goals, get on calls with them, spend hours speaking to them. Why? Because my success was not end with me. See, one thing that gives me the greatest joy is not when I become successful, it's not when I achieve a result, but when someone achieves success and my name is included in that person's success story. I feel so happy. I feel so fulfilled because this is what I was meant to do. This was what I was created to do. This is my own calling, and this is also your own calling. True success is measured by the people you raise, not the amount of people that you have or the awards that you have. It is measured by the people you raise. Raise people that will be able to hold your hands when your strength is failing. Raise people that will be able to go and fight for you when the battle becomes tough. So start mentoring someone, start documenting your knowledge, start building a community. Raise leaders, not followers. Don't pack dondus around you, people that cannot think for themselves, people that are 100% reliant on you. Make people to think by themselves. Empower people. Don't just give them things. Empower them. Teach them how to get those things. Duplication is how destiny becomes generational. That's it. Duplication. The truth about it is that many people stop at one stage. Some people discover, but they never develop. Some develop, but they never distribute. Some distribute, but they never duplicate. But a fulfilled life requires all four. It is not either or, it is a must. It is not a conditional statement. It is a must. It is a command that if you want to live a fulfilled life, you must discover, you must develop, you must distribute, and you must duplicate. So, my final charge to you is to ask yourself deeply, even as you go to bed tonight, have I truly discovered who I am? Am I taking my potential seriously and developing and investing in it? Am I distributing value consistently, or am I a burden to people around me? Am I duplicating my impact in others? Your destiny is just about, it's not just about success. It is about impact. It is about fulfillment. It is about legacy. And the journey actually begins with one decision, one, to take your life seriously. Take it seriously. And follow that path. And I'm very much rest assured that if you're able to follow these 4 steps, then you're going to enjoy a fulfilled life. So, guys, that's what I have for you tonight. How was the session? How was the session? What did you learn? Do you have any question for me before I run away? How was the session? Do you have any question for me? Please, this session is not a session that you just watch at once. You have to come back to it. Save this video, download it, share it with your friends. Share it. This is a very, very important conversation. Share it with them and come back to it. Come learn again. All right. And we'll meet here again next week, uh, Friday by 8 p.m. Just 1 hour, right? And we are done. So, guys, if there are no questions, thank you so much for joining tonight's session. See you again next week by 8 p.m. Good night, and have a great weekend.